Welcome to the We Shine Well podcast, where I have real conversations with thought leaders in wellness to help you live your most vibrant, aligned, and purposeful life. I'm your host, Zoe Kelsey, founder of We Shine Well. Here, we share honest stories, gems of wisdom, and insight to spark clarity and guide your next right step, so you can shine brighter from the inside out. Now let's dive in. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who is magnetic. Her presence, depth, and devotion have shaped an entire modality in wellness. Rachael Blumberg, founder of PlateFit and creator of The Vibration of Me. Rachael is a visionary who brought vibration training into mainstream fitness, but her work goes far beyond movement. She teaches from experience, from rising after deep unravelings, from choosing her own sovereignty over and over, and from leading with both softness and fire. She helps people return to the truth of who they are. Her story is powerful, her perspective is liberating, and her presence invites you to breathe differently, feel differently, and see yourself with more clarity. Today, we talk about sovereignty, authenticity, relationships, ritual, and the transition she's moving through as she steps into the next evolution of her life and business. Let's dive in. Hi, Rachael. I am so excited to have you on the We Shine Well podcast today. It's just been a pleasure to get to know you over the past couple of years, and just like the intentional, grounded, and vibrant spirit that you truly are. So it's such a treat.
I was talking about you the other day to somebody, and how honored I am to know you, and how amazing it has been to be in this community. And you really gather, and just very inspiring.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like I can relate to you as a projector too, and someone that knows that they have intensity in the best way. Yeah. So I would love to just kick off with just hearing more about your journey and what brought you where you are today.
Oh my God, my journey has been a lifetime. I feel like many lifetimes to get to where I am today. But what brought me here, sitting here in this house, is just an accumulation of life events and a desire to truly be in service to the world, and a desire to, I'm like you said, I am a projector. I learned that over the last few years. It gave me a lot of context to who I am, but also that I've always been kind of an intense person, and I've always been a seeker. Like, I really love the harder, the better. Like, I really like, and I don't mean like everything is hard in life, because that's not the way that I live my life, but like, I like to go deep. And when, when, when I met with with that depth with other people, it, sometimes it changes my life. And so what's gotten me here is, I grew up in Northern California, and in a little farm town. Most people think I'm from New York City because of my intensity, but I grew up, but just in a household that was very loving. And I went to UCSB. I was a college athlete. I was a Division I water polo player. And from that, water polo experience, I coached after college, and, moved to San Francisco and got jobs in finance and accounting and sales. And that job moved me down to Los Angeles when I was 27 years old. When I was 27 years old, I decided to quit my job at MySpace, which was a thing back then before it even existed. I don't even know if you know what MySpace was.
Yes.
Okay.
Going way back.
Yeah, way back.
With our Razor flip phones.
For MySpace, and I got introduced to a thing that a friend had. It was called a vibrational plate. It was called a power plate, and it was in the corner of this gym, and it had a bunch of stuff on it. And I was like, what is that thing? And I jumped on it, and it literally changed my life in a matter of like 3 seconds. And in 30 seconds, I was obsessed with knowing more about what this vibration was. And what I've come to know now is that the vibration was so deeply in me that I needed
Mm,
to it was like this like inner vibration that
mhm.
and I what happened when I was 27 though, it was like, different lifetimes, different versions of Rachel. It was really this
Yeah.
physical vibration that I felt in my body.
Mhm.
Connected me to a place that I wasn't really sure of then, but now I'm sure of now. I think I
Mhm.
learn a lot by looking back at my
Mhm.
life and understanding
Yeah.
how my life operates. And, it's like and only in retrospect, only in looking back do I understand truly what these different parts of my life have provided me and gotten me to the next phase. And so I had this like crazy idea that I was going to quit this awesome job at MySpace and that paid me really, really well. And I had a career that was like, trajectory forward. And I was going to quit that job and I was going to start a vibration power plate studio. And
Mhm.
everybody told me I was absolutely out of my mind. And the truth is that I was. I was
Mhm.
actually, which I think is really interesting. I tell people a lot, like if you have an idea that feels so crazy,
Yeah.
it's so in your heart, and people
Mhm.
are like, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah.
Go for it. Go for it,
Mhm.
because I was so far out of, like, what everybody wanted me to be and so far out of what I was raised to be and who I thought I needed to be, and I was like, "This is something that I couldn't deny this pull to be in vibration, to be on vibration, to offer
Mhm.
vibration to more people." And so I quit this job. I had no idea how I was gonna make money. I had always coached, so
Yeah.
I've been a teacher since I was 6 years old teaching, dolls in my room. Like, I've always
Mhm.
taught. I
Mhm.
taught, water polo, I taught swimming, I coached Marlboro High School when I moved down here. I was teaching exercise classes before I'd go to work. Like, I love the act of teaching. I've always been a projector. I didn't know that when I was 6 years old.
Yes.
Projectors love to teach. They're just born
Mhm.
leaders, born teachers.
Mhm.
I was always the captain. I was always the leader. Like people always did what I wanted them to do. I didn't know that I had this superpower, but I
Mhm.
just had it. And so I quit my job. No idea how I was going to make money, but I had this like vision in my heart.
Mhm.
And I called PowerPlate and I asked them if I could get certified. I got certified. And then I was like, do you have anybody in Los Angeles that has a power plate in their home? Because that was the only way I was going to make money. I had
Mhm.
moved out of my apartment on the Wilshire corridor. I packed
Yeah.
one red duffel bag that I will keep for the rest of my life. I sold everything else. And I
Mhm.
met this woman at the gym that I saw the power plate at. And she was like, if you train me, her name was Kate Rose. And she's like, if you train me for free, you can come live in my daughter's room. She's at college.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I went to live with this hippie Jewish woman in Venice who is the most amazing human being in the world. And we just became very, very close. And I stayed in her room. And then PowerPlate sent me to this woman's house in Malibu. They said, there's this woman in Malibu that you can go train. We sent many people up there, but no one sticks. And I was like, okay.
Mm.
So I drive up to Malibu. Now, mind you, I'm like kind of still new to Los Angeles and
Mhm.
farm town. Like I still don't know who people are and what they do. Like I just don't know. It's just not
Sometimes ignorant bliss is the best.
totally ignorant. Drive up there in my beat up little BMW. I'm like driving up and I pull in and pull in this beautiful mansion on the beach. When I say mansion, it was humongous. And I was like, wow,
Mhm.
this is interesting. And the assistant comes out and asked me what my sign was. And I was like, this is very LA. And it's hilarious. And I was like, I'm a Cancer. She was like, great. So I walked downstairs to this beautiful gym and like 30 minutes later down walked Cher.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I know Cher and I became very good friends very, very fast.
Mhm.
And she really loved the power plate and she really loved me and I really loved her. And we just clicked. And I was like, this is what it's like to follow. Like, it's like as soon as when you follow your heart in that way and you have this pull and you
Mhm.
let go of things that you think you need in order to be okay,
Yeah.
like the universe goes like this. Like, I'm going to place in your path somebody and something that
Mhm.
allows you to know that you're exactly where you need to be and that
Mhm.
you're taken care of. I was still making $35 an hour, mind you, to go up and train Share because this was through the company that had contracted me in. And I went up there for like 6 months and I'd spend like 2 or 3 hours with her and train her on the power plate and the other modalities. But
Yeah.
um, she looked at me one day and just said, what do you want to do moving forward? And I said, I would love to open a power plate studio.
Mhm.
like, create a business plan. And
Mhm.
I don't know how to create a business plan, but I will. So I put together a business plan. A friend of mine helped me, and I presented to like you know, four of her money managers, and they were like, "Great, let's do it." So we
Oh
opened
my
a
gosh.
studio called Studio C when I was
Mhm.
21 years old. Like a year after I decided to quit my job at Fox, or
Mhm.
it was MySpace bought Fox, but um, or Fox bought MySpace. But anyways, I quit my job, and now I was opening this power plate studio in West Hollywood called Studio C, Studio
Mhm.
Theater, and we had 14 power plates, and I had hired a bunch of people, and I thought I had made it. I was like, this is it. This is it. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to own Studio C.
Mhm.
After being open 6 months, Cher got her show in Vegas, her residency.
Mhm.
We had to perform like 5 nights a week. And she was like, I can't do the studio anymore.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, it was like, I remember sitting outside on this bench. And the reason why I'm almost crying right now is because like, there's been so many times in my life where like these big, huge doors swing shut. And
Yeah.
I'm gifted with this knowing that like, I am totally going to be okay. Got
That's
outside after
amazing.
receiving that call. And I was like, wow, this is not the way I thought it was going to go.
Mhm.
And I cried.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of fear. And I went home that night. And I remember taking out my journal and writing this thank you letter to God, because that's what I did at that time.
Mhm.
Still do it in some capacity. And I just said, thank you for this experience. I have no idea what's on the other side of this, but like, I know that I'm going to be okay. And
Mhm.
spoken to her business manager, and her business manager was like, Cher wants you to be set up. And she called me and she's like, I want you to be set up. I'm going to sell you 5 plates for like $1, pretty much. Like, she
Mhm.
probably gave me these 5 power plates that were like 14 grand that she had bought. And
Yeah.
she said, I just want you to pay me back. Like, I think she sold them to me for like $500 each, but she wanted me to have some sort of responsibility, you
Yeah.
know? So I was like,
Mhm.
so much. And I went out and I found a gym that was on La Cienega and Melrose, which was like a half a mile from where I was. And it was this old beat up gym called Train. It was an
Mhm.
institution. And I went and they had a room there, and it was 200 square feet, and I could fit exactly 5 power plates in there. It was so
Mhm.
tiny and so small. And I ripped out the floors and I put in a mirror, and I got a little boom box and plugged in my phone. And there was a school next door called the Center for Early Education, which is a very affluent school here in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Still there. My nephews actually go there now, and it's an amazing school. And I went over there and started giving out a business cards. And I just said, I
Mhm.
called Vibration. And there was this woman from Mexico City, because vibration and power plate was everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
And my mom's doing this in Mexico City. I've been looking for it. And I'm like, great.
Mhm.
Name was Sharon. And Sharon was like the right person to get because she knew everybody at the school.
Mhm.
For 8 years, what I like to say is I taught 16 classes a day, which was
Oh
exhausting,
my gosh.
myself into the ground, but I created PlayFit. I created a method. I created a consistent clientele. I created results. I created like a real knowing that what I had was substantial. And
Mhm.
um and I had so many people along those 9 years tell me no.
Mhm.
So many people go like, "Oh my God, your concept is so amazing. Like, I love it."
Yeah.
And no, and no, and no.
Yeah.
The answer is no, over and over again. And I would just show up again and again and again, because I had that thread, that like inner like pull of like,
Mhm.
supposed to be something different than just this like corner of the gym. And
Mhm.
thank God I stayed there, because my husband walked in. 9 years.
Mm.
He walked into the door with a matching dog. He's got red hair. He's shorter. He's Jewish, by the way. Like, I had only dated like 6'2" men, like total opposite of anything I'd ever thought I would end up with. And the greatest treasure of my life, one of the greatest.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we have an interesting dating story. That can be a whole nother podcast, you and I.
We'll have you back.
It's amazing. The story of him and I is truly remarkable. And I've helped so many women with their relationships with my own story. But I was ready and he was ready.
Mhm.
and we got pregnant really fast after knowing each other. And he was like, I just think and he saw what I was doing at the gym. And he's just like, I just think you have a much bigger concept than this corner of the gym. Like, let's like
Mm,
do a brand. And he's chief development officer for a market called Air One. And he builds things and he knows all the right people. He's like, I can build you a little studio in West Hollywood. And we'll see how it goes.
mhm,
Till that moment, I didn't have a platform for like classes. I just had word of mouth and I was in a personal training gym. So I wasn't in a like class based, it was
yeah.
friends bringing friends. And so I opened Plate Fit January of 2016 with a baby in my belly and in a 400 square foot space, which was just double what I had at that gym.
Mhm,
It was beautifully branded and it was a gorgeous space. My husband builds really, really beautiful things. And it was like an instant success.
yeah,
But it wasn't really, it was like years of instant success, but it was when ClassPass was $99.
yeah. People see the instant success.
What was like, but it was $99. So like it was like a free marketing. Like ClassPass
Mhm,
killed a lot of businesses, but for me, because I launched when it was like the cheapest will ever be,
yeah.
it like launched my business because so many people were coming in. And so the first
Mhm.
month I made like 30 grand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was wild and
Mhm,
unsustainable because my revenue was coming from a third party mostly. Like, your revenue needs to come from mostly your clients. But
mhm,
my husband and I were like, wow, we're onto something. And we grew that business. And I'll also tell you that when I met my husband, I had 9 years not drinking.
mhm,
So when I was 27 years old, when I decided to change my life and to start, a different way of being, I had also taken alcohol out of my life.
mm,
That was a
mhm,
big decision for me at 27 years old. It's like a big year in general.
yeah,
And when I met my husband and we started like going through, Plate Fit and building it to what it is now, I had started drinking again.
mm,
So
mhm,
while I was building Plate Fit, I was also like, I was back in motion, back in the scene. Like I was excited. I was like, felt very successful. We built 5 locations in a matter of 5 years, and I had the CEO of Blue Bottle look at my business and give me a great valuation and want to put $10 million on the balance sheet for 55% of the company right before COVID, and we said no,
oh wow, mhm,
and really wanted to say yes, but I didn't. And I was so disconnected from myself and I
mm,
didn't even know it. And when COVID happened, we had just opened 2 locations. So we had just
mhm,
invested 500 grand, opened 2 locations. And I had never, since I was 16 years old, been not able to make money. Like I was like,
mhm, yeah,
and it was a really, really, for some more than others, it was a really difficult time. And for me, it changed my life.
mhm,
And so, which many things have changed my life, but this one was a big one.
yeah,
And I fought and screamed and was so angry about everything about COVID, and it felt unfair and it felt everything just came out. And yeah, and I wasn't able to make money and we acquired debt and we had to close 3 studios as a result of COVID, pay
mhm,
lords. Like it just was this really, really rough time. And during that time, I also really got to take a look at myself internally. And I
mhm,
was completely disconnected. I am angry. I am rageful. I am sad. There's no way I can actually operate this business. There's no way I can actually have a successful relationship with anybody right now because I was so angry. And so I sought
mhm,
out to change my inner world,
mhm.
like more so than I ever have in my life.
Yeah,
I want to
I
become,
just want.
want to become,
Mhm. No, I just want to pause here because I feel like there's so much to unpack and then go back to this point.
Yeah.
Because even going back to when you were 27, it sounds like there was so much at play of like you not drinking alcohol anymore and two kind of sources of vibration coming through for you of like that aha within yourself that clicked and being on that vibration plate. So, can you tell me more about like why you're so drawn and what the power of the vibration plate is and how you even would like describe that vibration with you and how it's evolved over all of those years because you have such a story and journey of resilience and also just trusting your intuition like no other and
Mhm.
just fostering those relationships and community to be able to just take that aligned right next step for you.
When I first jumped on the power plate, I tell people, and I said here earlier, is that it changed me within 30 seconds,
Mhm.
connected me in my body in a way that I think most of us don't realize we're living out of our body. And now
Mm,
there's such a buzzword around nervous system and regulation and healing our nervous systems. And 20 years ago, no one was talking about that, but I
yeah.
felt it. I felt
Mhm.
it. I was like, "Oh my god," I'm like, "I feel so good when I'm on this thing." I could feel it in my joints. I could feel it
Mhm.
in my, like, stomach. I was, like, connected again.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm like, "There's some," but I didn't know that that's what it was back then. I just know that this is so good for me.
Mhm.
And then the science behind it also backed up that it was good for bones, good for lymphatic system, good for skin, good for like all the science, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I just attached my 27-year-old self was like, it was just a feeling. It
Mhm.
was an internal feel I'm going to rephrase that. It wasn't a feeling. It was a feeling at first. And then when something becomes like a knowing in me,
Mhm.
not here, it travels from here.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, this is amazing. I'm cerebral. And then I'm like, this is something that
Yeah.
my soul needs to do. And it moves
Mhm.
me, even though I'm fucking terrified. Sorry, it was for schizophrenic.
Mhm.
Even though I'm terrified, it moves me. It
Mhm.
moves me in a way that people are like, what is she doing? Why is
Mhm.
she doing that? And it
Mhm.
rocks me into a different dimension of being and living.
Yeah.
Like, rocks my relationships, it rocks my friendships. It literally, like, it puts me in a different vibrational path, and so that's what attracted to me to the vibration, and I love that it said power because I just felt like I was, like, plugged into power. I felt
Mm.
like I was, like, deflated before, and all of a sudden I was, like, plugging into this thing
Mhm.
that was so much bigger than me, but also a piece of equipment, and
Mhm.
now I can say this and people are like, "Yeah." Back then,
Mhm.
people were like, "You're crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you start a power plate studio? What is this thing? It's such a gimmick."
Mhm.
I've been
Well,
doing it for years.
even taking your classes, it's like you are so in the flow, and everybody coming out of the class, like myself included, is just like you feel like elated, like on just like a high of so good because everything is in the place that it's meant to. And I kind of think about it's like, how can it be like mind, body, soul, click, click, click of like, here I am grounded in my mind, body, soul to be able to live in that vibrational frequency of who we're truly meant to be as well. And it
Yeah.
sounds like maybe that was a conduit for you to kind of live in that vibration that you have always been intended to live in. And for listeners who like are like, what is this vibration she's talking about of the vibration of me? Like, how would you describe that?
So I feel, when I went back and I started drinking and I was opening these studios and I was financially very successful and
Mm-hmm.
outwardly very successful, which I think a lot of people are, but I was getting closer and closer to spiritual bankruptcy.
Mm. What do you mean by that?
I just had lost my sense of self. I became what I thought I needed to be for everybody. And I
Mm.
said the things I thought I needed to say, and I opened the studios I thought I needed to open. And I just was misaligned and I had no idea. And,
Mhm.
you know, when COVID stopped me and the rest of the world, what happened for me is I just got to say, like, I'm at the center of all of
Mhm.
my relationships and I want better for me.
Mhm.
And I want better for my relationship with my husband, and I want better for my kids, and I want better for my community. And so I went out seeking something outside of the physical vibration. I went out
Mhm.
seeking what I've come to know, which just came to me on a whim, is like I needed to find my way back to the vibration of my authenticity, of my sovereignty, of like who I am as a human being, and to really honor the woman that I am, to honor my intensity. Like I hid my intensity for so long. I
Mm-hmm.
drank away my intensity. I wanted to mute myself because I was too afraid to just be myself.
Mm-hmm. And what do you mean by this intensity and this sovereignty? Because these are words that have so much to them, and some people I mean, I can relate to being an intense person, but have learned to honor it too. So it's like, what do those words mean, and how can we truly honor them?
Yeah. So I also offer these circles over the last 3 years. I've been doing this practice of circling. A dear friend of
Mm-hmm.
mine, Paige, is my teacher, and now I offer it to many people here in Los Angeles. But when I was sitting in circle, I was explaining something that was like happening for me in present time. And my teacher looked at me and she just said, Rachel, you are an intense person and
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to fix. And my
Mm-hmm.
intensity is just the way in which I deliver. It's the way in which I live. It's the way in which I just make crazy choices for myself. Like, I'm just going to not drink for the rest of my life. I'm just going to start a power plate studio when nobody knows about what vibration is. I'm just going to, you know, do psychedelics because I just do like, it's like I do these things and then I explain them and I would always try to like hide. I was like living in hiding
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, not even honoring like it's like, and when you dim your light like that and dim, like when I was just dim my light, it's like it was so painful to be somebody else. Like I was in so much
Yeah.
pain acting and believing and talking and hanging out with people that just didn't match my vibration. And I am not for everybody. And I am
Mm-hmm.
totally okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me 46 years to get here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 40 years because there is an event that happens, I think, for everybody that I've worked with. And this is probably true for most people when you are younger, that shifts you.
Yep.
And that event. And so it's like I've just like I'm like 46 and healing my 6-year-old self. Like we're just like living together right now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I and it's I think healing yourself internally is an ongoing process. And once you peel the layer of an onion, it just keeps unpeeling. And so I'm here for that. But I feel so much better being myself than I ever have. And so what I'm doing right now with plate fit. So we can continue, but what happened with plate
Yeah.
fit was, and I'll just explain like the vibration of who you are, sovereign is being comfortable in yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
plugging all the holes that you're leaking energy out and being able
Yeah.
to feel rooted in your sit bones, rooted in who you are. You become like more grounded. People want to be around you. Like sovereignty is just not leaking energy for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
knowing who and how did
how
I
did
get
you get from the place of feeling like you were living from other people to coming back to your sovereignty and alignment?
I did it through um I need for me, my journey is alcohol just doesn't work in my life. And so that had to be the first thing that went away. And when that went away, I was left with like some real work, like
Mm-hmm.
healers and journeys and plant medicine. For me, that's been my journey to not as much plant medicine anymore, to really integration, to
Yeah.
circling, to reflection circles, to yoga nidra, being certified in yoga nidra, to meditation every single day, to retreats, Joe Dispenza retreats, yoga retreats. Like it's what calls my soul forward. And what's
Mm-hmm.
happened as a result of that is that because I know here's what I know is that if I have a problem that's outside of me and I think that I can fix it outside of me, then I will always be in problem. And so, like, it's a radical responsibility for me to just know that I need to fix it. It's like an always an inside job.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody is like, I think I might be out of touch with myself and living for other people, what are those warning signs to just like clue into, and like even steps to take back to our sovereignty and self?
I think when you're dominated by what other people do and also what they think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did a little Instagram challenge last year. It was actually started in January of last year. I can't believe we're almost at a year, but I was like, I'm going to do 30 days of showing up on Instagram every single day because I cared so deeply
Mhm.
about what I posted and how I looked and how I showed up, but I couldn't admit that to myself then.
Mm.
And it really showed me like this is like the things that I mean, doing things that are like so incredibly cringe for my own soul to like break free of the judgment. And so, like, if I'm judging others or I'm worried about what so and so is going to think, or I can't say no without an
Mhm.
explanation,
Mhm.
like, no is a full sentence. Like, I'm just not coming tonight.
Mhm.
Not like, no, I'm not coming because my kids have this and then, and maybe we can go next. It's like this, it's like, that's, you're just leaking energy.
Mhm.
And I just think that there's indications, but I think for some people and most people, it takes, in order for real change to happen, people like have a moment of like something rocks them.
Mhm. Yeah. And what is possible for you and you found for other people when you're living from this place of sovereignty and they are as well?
I mean, it's just that it's the law of vibration and attraction. It's like when you are more sovereign in yourself, people want to be around you.
Mhm.
And you teach people, like people are like, you just feel so like grounded. My voice has gotten like slower and deeper and
Mhm.
saying all the time.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so you just become an attraction.
Well,
And
you
it's
literally have magnetic energy and you just are such a grounded person and it's
but I
energy
have
is
to
so
let them know
powerful.
it's so powerful. It is everything.
Mhm.
Energy and vibration are everything. It's like we are a frequency to whatever emotion we're feeling at the moment.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, and I've just learned tools. I mean, there's so many things like, I mean, tapping and really understanding the nervous system has really helped me because
Mhm.
I was, I'll give you an example. Um, my husband, we were talking a few weeks ago and I was like, why don't you just come do a yoga nidra with me? And like, he couldn't even put on like I realized that his body was in such fight or flight. And even
Mhm.
though logically, as a 50-year-old man, he's like, he's totally fine. He's safe. Like
Yeah.
we are great. Our life is amazing. He couldn't even put on the eye mask
Mhm.
because his body felt so unsafe to like to go inward, to not be in
Mhm.
control, to not be hyper vigilant. And like, and so the tools that I've learned is like, oh my God, I'm a little like overwhelmed right now. Like things like this,
Mhm.
even for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I wanna come back in. My body's safe.
Mhm.
And like we
Mhm.
think that this is, I mean, we're knowing more and more, we're seeing more and more the science behind the nervous system and
Yeah.
the thought and the going from your head to your heart and really being able to live from a heart space, you know? And so
Mhm.
I think all my work has really allowed my body to heal.
Mm.
My
Mhm.
physical nervous system feels safer. And when you feel safe enough to be in your body, you can connect to your heart, which is really just the vibration of who you are. And from that
Mhm.
place, you attract things I mean, things literally fall out of the sky. You're like, how did I just said that? And like
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the person that you haven't seen in 30 years appears in front of you or like texts you or
Mhm.
like, I mean, the things that have been happening in my life over the last few years are just wild.
Yeah, let's get back to that too, because I know
Yeah,
I we went to dive in, but
sure.
I want to get back to that piece where you were just describing how you were so angry, and then now you're coming to this place of just being like leaning more into these circles and reflection and spirituality that has led you to like where you are today. So
Yeah.
let's get back to that.
So what happened for me is that that was for me, I was living these separate lives. So Plate Fit was always Plate Fit and it was barely getting by. And I had to close another location 2 years ago in Venice. And it just Plate Fit continued to feel like a contraction in my body.
Mhm.
Everything else in my life was expanding. because I was
Mhm.
really working on the expansion of everything else, but I couldn't heal
Yeah.
trauma
Mhm.
from COVID. Like I don't know why it was so deep for me, but it just ran really, really deep. And the scarcity and like not knowing how, like, and like going into debt when I had never had debt, like it was so much for me. And
Mhm.
and my body shut down.
Mm.
So energetically, I was like, just like going to do my spiritual stuff and going to do my healing stuff and like really feeling expanded in those areas and like growing a community in that arena. And then it was separate from plate fit. And so I tried to marry them like multiple times and it just didn't work. And, recently, I know, but I decided that I had to renew a lease. And
Mhm.
I did not want, there was not 1 ounce of this physical body that said yes to renewing a 5-year lease with
Mhm.
another personal guarantee, with another, like making $1,500 a month. I just wasn't
Yeah.
going to do it. Or just
Mhm.
getting by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was a break even, but like, and I was like, I'm closing it.
Mhm.
And I had to really, really come to terms with 20 years of something that has meant something very, very deeply to me.
Mhm.
Community that I had built, and what happened as a result of me. So I had seen this astrologist. So I'll go back.
Mhm.
I'd seen this astrologist who I've seen multiple times, and she read my current chart and she said, "You're at the end of a 12-year cycle."
Mhm.
And the end of the 12-year cycle is, by the way, when I met my husband 12 years ago. It's when we started like it's when plate fit actually like started. It started way before
Mhm.
because like I've been doing it for 20 years, but
What happens at the end of a 12-year cycle?
it's just the end, but it's a new chapter.
Mhm.
New chapter. Like you are like closing circles, you are closing patterns, you are done being that old person. And it just felt so, I was like, wow, that's incredible. And some of the
Yeah.
dates, like the date I sent the email that I was closing was like aligned with something very incredible in my chart. And so I was
Mhm.
like, this is the right move. This is it.
Mhm.
I need to now be moving into this different part of my life, which was like offering circles and coaching and spiritual coaching and doing a bunch of other things that I really, really love to do that are not huge money makers, but also, have been growing in a business. It's been growing
Yeah.
consistently over the last 3 years. So I decide I'm going to close it, but she tells me to wait during retrograde. And I'm
Mhm.
not a huge retrograde person, but I was like,
Mhm.
I'm going to listen. So I took a pause. I paused. And there's so much power in a pause. I always say, pause when agitated or doubtful and
Mhm.
truly wait until you feel moved to make a decision.
Mhm.
And I had already sent the email, so that was already in motion, but I was told to pause on making any negotiations or any real decisions on the lease during
Mhm.
November.
Yeah.
And so I paused. And what showed up as a result of the pause was just miracle after miracle after miracle. And something that so I had mourned, I had completed, I had done the inner work around truly letting go of this person, this persona, this idea that plate fit was,
Mhm.
it's fundamentally a part of who I've been
Yeah. Mhm.
forever.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that showed up in, 20 days or 29 days, from the 20 years of doing this that I hadn't seen in a long time, and trainers would pull up next to me in a car and I'd be like, wow, I haven't seen you since I opened my first studio. Or somebody would reach out to me that I hadn't heard from, or like somebody's like, oh my God, I know this like it was just like, and the community in Brentwood got together. There's like 30 women that got together and
Yeah.
called me and just said, what is it going to take to keep it open?
Mm. I have
And what
full
I
body
did,
chills.
yeah, and what I did, which was really amazing, is I stepped in to myself because I
Mm.
had nothing to lose, because I
Mhm.
already let it go. And if you
Yeah.
could dream your biggest dream, we did this with Kelsey.
Mhm.
If you could dream your biggest dream without any restrictions, if you could dream that biggest dream of what it would look like to keep Plate Fit open, is what I heard them saying to me, right?
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
just said it without any attachment. I didn't care because it was already going away. I said,
Mm.
this is what it's
Mhm.
gonna take, guys. This is what
Yeah.
it's gonna take.
Mhm.
I'm not working for free anymore.
Yeah.
What I have created either needs to go away and be whatever it was supposed to be, or I need to be paid for it.
Mhm.
In order for it to have that, this is what you need to pay, and this is what we're going to be offering. And everybody just stepped in with me
Mhm.
and was like,
Mhm.
we want to do it. We want to save it. We want to find an investor. We believe in it. And it was just this like, I was like, wow, well, maybe we can make a deal with the landlord.
Mhm. And
And so,
that's a testament to your community and
yes,
all of it's not that instant moment. It's a culmination of moments that led you there to like look how you've surrounded yourself with all of these people. And I feel like that's such like a through line in this journey that you've shared as well, is
yeah,
just like there has to be that shedding and that letting go to be able to truly let in and to live in that vibrational alignment with yourself
yeah,
and to be able to like live fully in your own worth.
yeah. And
Mhm.
the interesting thing that's happened over the last, month and a half is that the cl- there's trainers that have come back that I haven't seen in a while that I'm super excited that are here. I'm standing more in my sovereignty, in the vibration of who I am. Like, I'm unwilling to be anybody different than I am, and sometimes that takes like a lot of structure and guidance, and I'm like a born leader, and I'm
Mhm.
just gonna have fun with it. Like, we'll see. I mean, the classes right now are, waitlisted, and people are coming back, and people are excited about it. I just left a meditation circle with a bunch of women that were like, "Oh my God, I heard of," like, I'm like, it's just, it feels like
Mhm.
there's a rebirth of something in a different plate fit will be different because I
Mhm.
am different.
Mhm.
And we end every single class, which I've wanted to do for 20
Mhm.
years, with a meditation.
Mm. I love
We have
that.
people set their intention. We have them vibrate and let go and like relax their nervous system, and then call in with the vibration, a vibration that you want to carry into the world. And even those small little tweaks make me want to be there.
Mhm. Well, it's not necessarily a small tweak because if you think about it, you were talking about the separation of your circles and the spiritual healing work that you're doing with other people and yourself.
Right?
And now you're standing in your worth and you're bringing that into Plate Fit
Yeah.
and the full version of yourself versus like the separated version of who you are into that. So, like,
Yeah.
that's so powerful.
They want it. They want it. I went to
Mhm.
the girls from We Natal had this woman come out, Louise, I forget what her last name is, but she was talking about brain health, and I sent a newsletter yesterday about, just the recap of that event and brain health and dementia, and how many replies I've already gotten from that. I just think it's like I'm ready to be back in community with my community, and to
Mhm.
be and and to really just be into the vibration of me. And so it's like those both of those are merging, and I'm really unattached. So
Mhm.
we'll see if PlateFit has the ability to rebuild itself. I believe that it does, and I'm really calling in the right investor or buyer. Like, I know that this should be my first vision of PlateFit was like studios all around the world, because I believe that the physical vibration is so important for the health of everybody. And
Mhm.
20 years later, like, vibration is like a sensation on TikTok. Like, who knew that that was going to be the thing? Like, I get videos all day of people
Uh-huh.
going like, "Have you seen?" I'm like, "Yeah, everybody has these vibration plates now at home." And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I feel better than I've ever felt.
Mhm.
I look better than I've ever looked. And all
Mhm.
of it really comes down to, you know, here, living from here,
Mhm.
and living
Yeah.
true to, who I want to be in the world, and just asking the question every day, like, who can I help? How can I do
Mhm.
this? It's less about what it's going to be and
Mhm.
my goals, and more about like, did I help people today? And do they feel better? And are they more in their bodies? And do they feel stronger? And am I helping them connect with their heart? And
Mhm.
it's like,
Yeah.
that's how I want to live. That's what I want to be remembered for.
That's how you do live.
Yeah, it is how
Mm.
I it is how I
Mhm. It is. And
I
for somebody that isn't as familiar with a vibration plate, what is the structure of your classes and what are the benefits of it?
So a vibration plate, it was invented for astronauts because they were developing atrophy of the muscles and early stages of osteopenia. And it was a way to rehabilitate them because it stimulates the pull of the muscle from the bone. That's it.
Mm,
That's what happens on a vibration plate. So
yeah.
the muscle pulls like it's almost like a trampoline.
Mhm.
And then the plate that I use in the studios, I don't know about the $200 Amazon plates. I think they're great for lymphatic, but
Yeah.
the one at the studio moves in 3 different ways. And so
Mhm.
it destabilizes your body. So when
Mhm.
your body is unstable, the spine contracts its muscles to stabilize. And so it
Mhm.
contracts your muscles 30 to 50 times a second. Hard to conceptualize, but you do more in a shorter amount of time. It helps with everything: bone density, circulation, metabolism, joy, um, like inner health, nervous system. Like it's really serotonin,
Mhm.
elasticity of the skin. Like
Mhm.
it's really an incredible I mean, my bones are very, very strong. My visceral fat is very low. Like I'm a very
Mhm.
healthy human being. And I think a lot of it has to do with vibration.
Mhm. And they're efficient workouts because they're a shorter they aren't like hour workouts. They're what?
27 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
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 And they were actually designed to be less. So you could actually do like 50, if you had one at home, you could do like 15 minutes at home
Mhm.
because you're
Yeah.
doing more in a shorter amount of time.
And then I also want to touch on community because community has just been the relationships you've had have been so powerful all throughout your journey. And just like even the power of this like renewed version of plate fit and you and yourself. Like, what does the power of community mean to you through your journey?
I mean, it's really everything. It's really, I mean, I love that the science shows that having community is the longest indicator of longevity.
Mhm.
And when you're aligned with your community, which means like you have to be aligned with who you are, you're going to attract your people in
Mhm.
like crazy. And when you, it's like when I just feel, I feel so lifted. I feel
Mhm.
so seen. I feel so inspired um, because I have a community of people around me that are vibrationally matched
Mhm. Yeah.
or wanting to get matched.
Mhm.
And I love, like, I'm a big Joe Dispenza person. I've been on like obtained many of his retreats. I just love the idea of things falling out of the sky. Like I love to play, like Kathy Heller says too. Like I just love to play, like show me how good it can get today. Like show me,
Mhm.
because I love the manifestations that happened. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're like, you can't make this up. Like I love that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
you're like, wow, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like last night, I'm listening to this book that a friend of mine from Circle recommended, Courtney. It's called The Magic Mind. Do you know that?
Mhm. I've
Do you
heard
know
of
that
it,
book?
yeah.
I'm going to send it to you. You have to listen to it. It's
Okay.
incredible. It's a good listen. It's
I like
about
how you know I'm only gonna listen to it.
me too. In the car, I'm always listening.
Yep.
But anyways, I'm on the way to last night to, and it's the very end, and the story gets so good at the end. And like, I'm like, I had 2 things to go to last night. 2.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I really wanted to go to the other thing, but I was like, I'd already committed to this. And I was like, I'm just going to be present in where I'm at. I'm going to go. And I'm
Mhm.
on my way listening to this. And it's about something about the magic shop. And this guy goes back to Lancaster to be at the magic shop, to find this magic shop that he had when he was like 8 years old. And they were like, it's closed. And so they mentioned on my way to the magic castle for him to go to the magic castle. And I'm like, this is exactly, it's just like these things for me, when you are so aligned and you're living in your heart and you're separating yourself every single morning and you have your
Mhm.
ritual and you have your community. It's like the things that show up in front of you and the people that show up. Like I met 8 women today at a meditation and
Mhm.
like they're all coming.
Mhm.
And I'm so excited that they're all coming, you
Yeah.
know? Like I didn't know that I didn't even know Plate Fit would be brought up today.
Mhm.
2 women from Plate Fit that just started at Plate Fit showed up at the meditation meeting.
Well, and it's like you can't make this stuff up.
It's the best.
It's all divine orchestration in the most powerful way. And it's just that testament to like being that most magnetic version of yourself to attract that community and those people wherever you do go, to have those like connections and relationships for the beautiful unfolding and unraveling of like what is truly meant to be for you.
I also want to say this. I want to say this because I think it's really important, and not just because I'm on the phone with you, but having community that you've created,
Mhm.
because I've always been, I'm also a Cancer. I've always been like, I don't want to participate. It took me so long to like start to engage, and you
Yeah.
just kept asking me. And vibrationally, I just wasn't there yet, you know?
Mhm.
I wasn't
Yeah.
ready to dive in. But this community that you've created, I've met so many incredible people.
Well,
And
thank you.
I love showing up to the things that you create. And I mean, I was like, of course I'm going to be on this pod. Like, it's
Mhm.
like that, it's fun. Right.
Mhm.
I'm having fun right now. You know, I
Yeah,
went
me too.
I had to go to New York during the event that was in Montecito, and I was so bummed. I was,
Oh.
but by the way, I met Bianca Gates as a result of getting on that plane.
Oh, well, there
In
you
the
go.
was in the lean in circles, which I need to tell you that story too. But I mean, my life just feels like it's like I'm living in a lot of joy, a lot of faith,
Mhm.
a lot of unknown.
Yeah.
And in a world that feels really, really crazy right now, the only thing I could say is like connect every single morning with
Mhm.
something by closing your eyes and separating yourself. Because after 6 seconds of waking up, the story from yesterday downloads, and we're like, we're living the same thing. And so, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna ask what rituals or practices anchor you most in those seasons of both expansion and the unraveling.
I have my practice has grown over the years, and it's been a practice of since I started meditating when I was 28,
Mhm.
and it's been a journey. And I wake up and I'm excited to go sit in the space of the unknown, in the space with God, in the space of spirit, whatever the 3D, 5D, whatever it is people like to call it. But it is very, very, very important for me. And that's my ritual every morning. And it's changed over the years. It could be TM, it could be Joe Dispenza, it could be Yoga Nidra, it could be chanting, it could be a
Mhm.
combination of all of it. It's lighting incense, it's lighting candles, it's journaling,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
taking you drinking warm. I mean, the ritual that I have every single morning is like, it's the best.
It's like
It
it
takes
goes
me,
back to the power of the pause.
it does. It's making
Mhm.
for me.
Mhm.
The more
Yeah.
space I make, everyone's like, "Well, I don't have 5 minutes." I'm like, "Girl, I have like 2 hours." And people are like,
Yeah.
"How do you do it?" I'm like, "Because I cannot live without it. I don't
Mhm.
want to live in a world that is so chaotic, feeling chaotic. Like I get one life. Like I really want to feel good." And
Mhm.
that's not always the case all the time, but I feel better when I do it.
Mhm. And it's like you don't know how good you can feel
Mm,
until you feel so good and
exactly.
realize like what all the other stuff was that might have been like dimming your light too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just like I've even realized recently I'm so grateful for our community and I created it like seeing a need, but also selfishly to surround myself with these expanders and gradually am grateful to have become a magnet to
Yeah.
bring all of these incredible women like yourself and so many others together. So I'm so grateful that you're part of it.
Yeah, I love being a part of it. Thank you for creating it.
Of
I can't
course.
I can't wait to see how it expands and what it becomes. And it just feels like it's gonna be it already is incredibly beautifully great, and it's just growing. And the
Yeah.
people
Well,
that are coming in are just better than, it's just it's a great community. So if you are thinking about joining, you should join.
well, thank you. I mean, I have so many ideas in the works. I will tell you offline. But as we close, what is one truth or reminder you want everyone listening to take with them today?
To follow your heart.
Mm, yeah.
Just follow your heart, and do the work in order to open your heart.
Hmm. Yeah. And where can listeners connect with you, learn from you, start working with you, go to PlateFit?
Yeah, you can find me at PlateFit or at Rachael Blumberg Chiproot online, and everything is there. Everything's linked in my Instagram.
We'll add it all in the show notes so they can go to PlateFit, your upcoming circles, and all of the goodness that you offer.
Amazing.
So thank you so much for this conversation. I know I had so much fun and learned so much from hearing your story and just gems of wisdom. So thank you.
Thank you, Zoe.
Thanks. Thank you for tuning in to the We Shine Well podcast. If today's conversation lit something up in you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, leave us a review, and dive deeper each week by subscribing to our Substack in the show notes to interact with guests and discover more resources to expand you. Until next time, keep trusting your right next step and keep shining, my friend.